I'm Matt Dingle, I'm an engineer and I'm the Managing Director at FormFlow. My working career started as a boat builder, and that was because I love boats. I started sailing and then I did competitive rowing for quite a number of years. That then led me to studying, because I got to the point where I realised I didn't have the knowledge I needed to take things to the next level. So I studied engineering at Deakin. That opened my eyes to a whole world of opportunity, so I went straight from that into postgraduate studies, which I completed with Ford and also with Volvo. I just love bringing ideas to life. That's the bit that I really enjoy. I started another company where I could focus on commercialising research and turning those ideas into real things. And out of that came Carbon Revolution. So Carbon Revolution was founded on the development of a carbon fibre wheel for cars, which no one had ever managed to do before. And then my interest in metal forming and research was reignited by a new idea, and so we started FormFlow. So the technology that underpins FormFlow as a company is a bending process for putting sharp bends in a corrugated sheet. And so this has opened up all sorts of possibilities for prefabricated building systems and new ways of doing things. It has particular advantages in bushfire prone areas because it eliminates gaps, and we're constantly discovering new uses for the technology and for the underlying theory. I owe a great deal to Deakin personally, and so to the companies I founded, particularly FormFlow and Carbon Revolution. So it's very humbling to be awarded this honour by the Deakin alumni. Listening to speeches from the award winners last year, two things struck me. What a huge impact the university is having around the world in so many fields of endeavour, and also what can be achieved by the power of good ideas and those people prepared to dedicate themselves to making them a reality. I began as an undergraduate student in 1995 and then moved to postgraduate studies in 1998, and even worked as a lecturer and researcher from 2001 to 2004. And since then, I've collaborated constantly with the university in everything that I've done. Really, I've never left. And in that time, Deakin's helped me access knowledge and skills, provided support, access to incredible people, and a platform to bring my ideas and the ideas of others to life. I'm extremely proud to be part of the Deakin family. I'd like to thank the Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor and the Deakin alumni for this award. It came as a huge surprise and I'm extremely honoured to receive it. There are many people who have helped, supported and motivated me throughout my career so far, but I've chosen to mention a few that have been particularly important in the Deakin context. The first is Professor Peter Hodgson, who's no longer at the university, but he joined in 1997 towards the end of my undergraduate studies. I completed a project with Peter and then he convinced me to embark on postgraduate studies. And basically he's been a constant part of my career ever since, and a constant supporter and friend. The next one's Professor John Duncan, who despite being almost 90 years old is someone I still collaborate with today. He's a world leader in metal forming research, and a real believer in the things that I've done, and a strong supporter of everything that we do. He's been enormously important. Associate Professor Matthias Weiss and his wife Belinda Lee are part of the FormFlow team. I've known Matthias since I visited him in Germany, and he then became a student of mine at Deakin in the following years. We obviously work very closely together at FormFlow. And then the former Vice-Chancellor, Jane Den Hollander, who really took both Carbon Revolution and FormFlow under her wing, and supported us in every way conceivable to help us in the development of those companies and make them able to get to the position that we are in today. And then there are key people who joined us in those companies and who I've worked with over the course of my career. A couple I'll mention, Ash Denmead and Dave Delios, who were both students at Deakin that I taught when I was there as a lecturer, and Brett Gass, who I worked with at Ford in Geelong. They were the co-founders of Carbon Revolution with me, and then later my brother Jake, who took over the role of running the company in 2012, and he's still there today. And then more recently with FormFlow, we've worked very closely with Jim Derfler from the School of Architecture, and we're doing some amazing things together, and I can see that collaboration really evolving beautifully over the next few years. I'd like to thank the teams at Carbon Revolution and FormFlow, and particularly those who followed us into these ventures from Deakin. And finally, my family have been so supportive and involved in everything I've done. I think more than ever, the world needs people with optimism and ideas, and the will and tenacity to pursue them to address the real existential issues that confront us. And I'm sure many of these people and ideas will come from Deakin.